Hello everyone, welcome back to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and in this video we'll be doing a camera comparison of two mid-range powerful devices with almost similar hardware. We have the iQOO Neo 7 Pro and we also have the OnePlus 11R. Now these two devices are really powerful in the form of the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 chip, and both have really good RAM and software experience too. Both are running on Android 13 as well. Now the cameras are also quite similar on both the devices. We have a 50 megapixel triple camera setup on both the devices, and we'll be doing a detailed camera comparison to see which of these is the better camera device in this price segment. Now the iQOO Neo 7 Pro is much lesser priced, around 33,999. That's official pricing, while the iQOO rather the OnePlus 11R is priced 39,999. So which of these devices is better in terms of camera? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. So before getting into the video, if this is your first time on this channel, do hit that red subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. So let's begin. So first let's have a look at the camera hardware offered. Now talking about the iQOO Neo 7 Pro, this comes with a 50 megapixel Samsung GN5 sensor with f1.8 aperture. You get an 8 megapixel ultra wide and a 2 megapixel macro. On selfies front we get a 16 megapixel shooter. Now coming to the OnePlus 11R, here also you get a 50 megapixel primary sensor, but this is a Sony IMX890 sensor, again 1.8 aperture, and you get an 8 megapixel ultra wide and a third 2 megapixel depth sensor. On selfies we again get a 16 megapixel shooter. So that's the camera hardware. In fact, the camera hardware as such is exactly the same except for the primary sensor, which is the Sony versus the Samsung. Both are really good sensors. Now let's go deeper into the camera samples to see which of these performs better. So let's get started. So first let's have a look at the daylight captures taken with these two devices. Now you can see that in terms of daylight conditions, both did a quite good job, but the one that differentiates between these two devices is the color reproduction. You can see that the iQOO Neo 7 Pro colors are much saturated, while the OnePlus 11R is more realistic in nature. This we have been saying in our different reviews of the iQOO Neo 7 Pro. The iQOO colors are a bit more vivid and saturated, but there are a few people who definitely like the saturated colors, and for them iQOO Neo 7 Pro won't disappoint. Now if you look at the sky colors also, the OnePlus 11R is a bit more realistic in nature. The dynamic range is quite good on both the devices and both resolve shadows pretty well. Now if you look at the close-up or rather the zoomed in images, you can still see both offers good detailing and good sharpness level. There isn't much to differentiate here. So overall in terms of daylight condition, the colors are definitely better on the OnePlus 11R, while the sharpness and the details are also quite similar on both the devices. So if we were to pick one of these devices in terms of daylight conditions, that would be the OnePlus 11R, because it's a bit more realistic in terms of colors. But for people who like more vibrant and saturated colors, iQOO Neo 7 Pro won't disappoint. So these are the daylight captures taken from the iQOO Neo 7 Pro and the OnePlus 11R. So what do you guys think about these two devices? Which of them perform better in terms of daylight condition? Do let us know in the comment section. Let's move on to the ultra wide angle camera. Now here also you can see that the iQOO Neo 7 Pro images are a bit saturated, while the colors on the OnePlus 11 are a bit more realistic. But having said that, the sharpness and detailing looks a bit better on the iQOO Neo 7 Pro when compared to the OnePlus 11R. Now both of these have 8 megapixel cameras, and they are quite average in terms of daylight or rather ultra wide angle captures. So nothing to differentiate between them. But if I were to pick one, then probably the iQOO Neo 7 Pro ultra wide was slightly better overall. Let's move on to the close-up images. Once again, you can see that the colors on the iQOO Neo 7 Pro is a bit more warmer in tone. There is an yellowish tint added to almost all of the images, making it a bit more vibrant, while the OnePlus 11R retains more natural or accurate colors. So that's one thing which separates between these two devices, more or less similar in terms of imaging, but what differs is the color accuracy and color reproduction. So if you like a really vibrant and if you want the colors to pop out, then the iQOO Neo 7 Pro does that. But if you want more realistic colors, then the OnePlus 11R would be the better option of the two devices. Now both the devices have a 2 megapixel macro sensor. Now the quality of the macros is kind of very much average on both the devices. There isn't anything to differentiate between these two devices, only the color reproduction. Again, both are quite average, I would say. Nothing to write home about the 2 megapixel shooters on either of these devices. Let's move on to the portraits. Now once again you can see that the colors are a bit more saturated on the iQOO Neo 7 Pro. Now when we reviewed the iQOO Neo 7 Pro, we mentioned that the 2x portraits were a bit too whitish, but this time around we have taken using the 1x mode, and here you can see that the colors and skin tones are much better, but once again the colors are a bit saturated, and you can also see that the color of the t-shirt is more accurately depicted on the OnePlus 11R. So portraits, I would say OnePlus 11R has a slight advantage over the iQOO Neo 7 Pro. Let's move on to the low light captures. Now this is taken at around sunset, around 6:30 to 7 p.m. time, and you can see that the iQOO Neo 7 Pro does better here, better dynamic range, better details, and also the overall quality of the photo was better on the iQOO Neo 7 Pro. So low light captures at sunset did better on the iQOO Neo 7 Pro. So this is another shot taken during the same time, and you can see that the colors are much better, although a bit vibrant. iQOO Neo 7 Pro was more realistic. Now this is an indoor shot. Once again you can see that the iQOO Neo 7 Pro does better, while the OnePlus 11R, the exposure is a bit overdone, and detailing is not that great when compared to the iQOO Neo 7 Pro. Now when it comes to extreme low light, once again you can see that the iQOO Neo 7 Pro does better overall, especially slightly better dynamic range, and shadows are also resolved better. And when it comes to extreme low light, you can see that neither of these devices did really well in terms of sky tones. You can see that the sky color is somewhere in between the iQOO Neo 7 Pro and the OnePlus 11R, but neither of them have got it correct. But still I would say iQOO Neo 7 Pro did a quite good job in terms of low light experience. So that was the low light. Now moving on to the selfies, you can see that both devices did quite good job in terms of selfies, but if you look at the t-shirt color, that is more accurately depicted on the OnePlus 11R, and the skin tones are also a bit better on the OnePlus 11R when compared to the iQOO Neo 7 Pro. But again, selfies are more of a personal choice. You can judge which selfies you like the most. Both the devices have good dynamic range, good detailing and sharpness levels, but my personal choice in terms of color tones is the OnePlus 11R, and iQOO Neo 7 Pro is not bad, but again it's more of a personal choice. Now in terms of portrait selfies, again we feel the OnePlus 11R did a slightly better job in terms of colors and skin tones, and the edge detection is quite good on both the devices. So these were the selfie camera shots taken using both these devices, and I personally feel OnePlus 11R did a better job here. Let's move on to the video recording. Now both devices can record 4K 60 FPS. Once again you can see that the colors are more natural on the OnePlus 11R, while the iQOO Neo 7 Pro colors are a lot saturated, but again some people do like saturated colors, and for them iQOO Neo 7 Pro won't disappoint. In terms of stabilization, I feel the OnePlus 11R did a slightly better job. So overall in terms of video quality, our pick would be the OnePlus 11R, because it has more natural colors, and stabilization is also slightly better overall. So video recording, OnePlus 11R does have an advantage compared to the iQOO Neo 7 Pro. So this is the front facing camera sample taken with the iQOO Neo 7 Pro, and it is recorded in 1080p resolution, so you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is and also the audio output. So this is the 1080p video sample taken using the OnePlus 11R, so it can also record videos in 1080p resolution. It also supports stabilization, but right now we have not enabled it, so you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is. So that is a detailed camera comparison of these two devices, the iQOO Neo 7 Pro and the OnePlus 11R. Now let's divide the camera comparison into different parts. In terms of daylight conditions, I feel the OnePlus 11R did a slightly better job. Ultra wide, the iQOO Neo 7 Pro by a slight margin. Close-up and macro shots both were quite good, and macros were very much average on both the devices. Now portraits, I feel the OnePlus 11R did a slightly better job, and low light experience, the iQOO Neo 7 Pro did better job here compared to the OnePlus 11R, which didn't have that much of dynamic range in terms of low light experience, and iQOO Neo 7 Pro, although a bit saturated, did a better job in terms of the low light experience. Now selfies, I personally feel the OnePlus 11R is my choice, but again selfies are more of a personal choice. You can judge based on the images. And finally video recording, once again the OnePlus 11R was the better choice. So summing up, the OnePlus 11R definitely has an edge over the iQOO Neo 7 Pro in terms of camera, but the iQOO Neo 7 Pro won't disappoint users. It's a really good camera out there, especially if you like a vivid and saturated or rather boosted colors or vivid colors, then iQOO Neo 7 Pro won't disappoint. But overall, if I look at the cameras on both devices, my personal choice would be the OnePlus 11R. So that was the detailed camera comparison of the iQOO Neo 7 Pro with the OnePlus 11R. So hope you enjoyed watching this video. So which of these is the better one according to you? Do let us know in the comment section. This is Nirmal signing off. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more updates. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.